Hello and welcome back to Whiskey 411, guys. So, if you haven't met me before, I'm the Baron. Happy to have you here. Today we're going to talk about something a little different. As you can see, there's not a whiskey on the table. If you read the title, then you already know what this is about. But I just want to sit down and kind of talk and get rid of the clear the air about some things and really talk about something that means a lot to me personally. And that is mental health. Let's talk mental health awareness. So when we're talking mental health awareness, we could be talking about any number of things. It could be anything from alcoholism. It could be drug dependency. Those are truly mental health disorders in many ways. Addiction is a real is a real disability. Let's be fair. But then you have things like depression, bipolar, anxiety disorders, so many various anxiety disorders, if we're being honest. And a lot of people go undiagnosed, or they just struggle, or worse, they handle things themselves, so to speak. So why am I discussing this with you? This is a whiskey channel. We're not supposed to be getting all real and dour and down. Well, sometimes you just got to take a second and get real, and let's be completely real. I'm an autistic adult. Now, what's that mean? Well, 12, 13 years ago, I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. It's no longer a modern diagnosis. Now you're just diagnosed as being somewhere on the autism spectrum. But it made me have to think about things. It's also made me realize some things. But I don't want to talk just about me. I want to talk about the importance of not just acknowledging mental health, but really trying to own your mental health, which is hard to do, including for me. So that's part of what this video is about as well, is this is me owning my shit and telling you that it's okay to own your own. Okay. Notice I'm drinking, this is coffee, by the way, not whiskey. Like I said, I take this seriously. Okay, so Mental Health Awareness Month has been around since 1949 in the United States. Interestingly enough, most of us have probably never really fucking heard of it until the last few years, which is a sad commentary on our society in general. But, it is what it is. So, let's talk simple truths. So like I said, I'm autistic. Oddly enough, I've worked in the manufacturing industry for about the last decade, which if you're familiar with autistic spectrum, it's not necessarily the best fit in some ways, depending on where you're working, specifically where I'm working. But I'm good at it. That extra obsessive attention to detail on occasion tends to help. The attitude, also known as a personality, tends to hurt. So, yeah. Anyway, like I said, I don't want to make this about me. So let's just try to focus here, which that may be its own problem today. So what do I really want to say in this video is, don't be ashamed. If you have a mental health disorder, I don't care what it is. I care. I care about you. I care what it is to you, but I don't care what disability you may have. Talk to someone, get it out there. If it's your employer, if it's your friend, it doesn't matter who, but make sure that you're actually owning it. Make sure that you're dealing with it. Make sure that make sure that you realize that it's a part of who you are, and that as a part of who you are, you may never be able to change or get rid of it, but maybe you can find the advantages to it, or maybe you can make it a positive. Maybe you can make it work for you. I found that in most cases, a lot of the challenges that I experienced because of my own issues has given me other advantages as well. And sometimes it's hard to sometimes it's hard to remember that I have those advantages, and sometimes it's hard to see those advantages through the cloud of shame that you may be feeling, or what have you. I know it's really easy to be ashamed of your disability, especially in the professional world, where we're not a society who recognizes weakness, for lack of a better phrase, and certainly not have a problem being tolerant and accepting of those differences in people, because different can be scary, and different can be off-putting, and different may be socially unacceptable. But that's okay. Eventually, you'll find where you belong, and just keep looking. And I'll tell you right now, if you don't find where you belong, if you can't find anywhere that you seem to fit or feel like you belong, you're always welcome here. You're always welcome in this channel, with these videos, with myself, and honestly, most of the people watching them. You have a home and you have a safe place, so know that. So yeah, there's so much I'd like to say, and so much I'd really like to get into, and there's so much that needs to be said about mental health, and about either treating it, because many things are treatable, or in my case where it's not treatable, learning how to adapt and own it and use it as a strength, turning a weakness into a strength. That's a difficult but valuable ability if you can do it. So I just want to kind of, before I get rambling too much, I'll just take a minute and say, as a kind of a wrap up if I can, is if you're an employer and you have people who come to you and tell you that they have mental disabilities, mental health issues, whatever they may be, realize two things. They're telling you because they trust that you'll treat them fairly, and that you'll respect the fact that they're coming to you. But also, you need to realize that when someone comes to you, that's an awesome responsibility that you've been given, and an opportunity to make someone's life better, and to add value to someone's life, and to make someone feel valued even. And now, why as an employer do you give a shit about that? Well, because if I'm being honest, in my experience dealing with people who have various mental conditions and issues, they're the most loyal people on the planet, the most loyal employees, hardest workers you will ever meet in your entire life, so long as they believe that you are genuine, and that you care about them, and that you respect them. If you do that, you'll have an employee who will never leave, and who will literally work themselves damn near to death for you. Now, you shouldn't take advantage of that, and if you do, I hope you pay a price for it, but it's something that you won't get almost anywhere else, so keep that in mind. And then for my fellow people dealing with and going through things, I want to leave you with this, and that is that there are good people out there. There are good communities out there. There are good resources out there. Quite sincerely, you are never alone, no matter how much it may feel like it. Things will get better eventually. You just have to stick around long enough for them to get better. And remember that failure is a part of growth, of learning. We don't value the lessons we learn without a bit of failure or a bit of discomfort. So take that and Own it and move forward and just be the best version of yourself that you can be, instead of being what everyone else expects you to be. I know that may cost you jobs. I know that may cost you friendships. I know that may cost you workplace relationships. And that part really sucks, believe me. But being honest with yourself and owning yourself and knowing, not hiding anymore, that'll make your mental health so much better than any medication or, video from me would ever do. So anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go, and I hope everyone has a great day and a great week, and we'll get back to whiskey soon. Thanks for joining me. Once again, I'm Dustin. I am the Baron. This is Whiskey 411, and take care of yourselves. And if you ever need someone to talk to, reach out to me on my channel or anywhere else that you can find me online. I'm on Insta at the Whiskey 411. If nothing else, I'll buy you a dram, we'll hang out, and you can tell me your whole life story. It's all good. So between now and then, here's to good friends, good times, and some good whiskey.